The lecture today is the best evidence for creation I personally know, and it is the origin and complexity of a living cell. Do you know how many cells you have? You have, on average, depending on how much you had for breakfast, what your diet has been, 72.3 trillion cells. Now that's the latest figure. Some of us have more, some of you have less, but that's the average of the latest figure. Some of those figures run as far down as 40 trillion, some of them go to 100 trillion cells, but the best figures I've heard, every one of those has all the information to make every other cell in your body function. The cells in your toenails have all the information distinctively cataloged, all the information that you also have in your eyelids and your brain and your ears. Now, aren't you glad they don't get mixed up? Wouldn't you hate to have toenails growing on your eyelids? Or vice versa? Absolutely terrible. But all the information for the entire organism is in every cell, but it's compartmentalized. Naturalism cannot produce that. Evolution is not the answer as to how we got here and how life developed. Life didn't develop. It was actually presented, as we're going to realize, and we're going to back that up with scientific study, actually a gift. Life is a gift. So the origin, how did living systems originate? How can they operate with such complexity? Introduction. I used to be an evolutionist. I know a number of evolutionists. I debated Madalyn Murray O'Hair in her prime and in my prime. And there were 2.5 million people who listened to that debate. That was over KMOX in St. Louis, Missouri. That's been, wow, over 40 years ago. Madalyn Murray O'Hair did not have any original information. She used worn out cliches from a lot of theologians who were convinced that literal creation was not true. She quoted theologians, and she quoted the atheists as well. Some liberal theologians had adopted naturalism, and so she had a double audience, so she could get Christians to listen to her and say, well, that makes sense, that theologian stated that. If you want to know the details as best as we can research them, the details of the original creation, the pre-flood world, after this lecture, you need to go to the back and tell Kristen or David, I want to look at, or I want to see the cover of the DVD series. It's a 2-tape DVD series called The Model, Creation and Symphony of the Model. It gives all of the basic parameters that we know biblically and scientifically, and the two are meshed together. It is the only composite creation model that we know of in creation research. Larry, do you know of another complete model? In fact, you were with me in the formulation of some of this early model. Do you know of another composite creation model? And it's not perfect, but it's from the perfect source, the Scripture. All right, now let's make some progress.